Something has broken in Kansas City, and for the first time in nearly a decade, we are not just talking about a Sunday loss. We are talking about a rupture in the foundation of the NFL's greatest recent dynasty. You saw the score. You saw the defeat to the Broncos. But what you didn't see was what happened behind the scenes, reading between the lines of press conferences and in the deafening silence of those who used to be the voice of the team. Andy Reid, the master strategist, did something he rarely does. He pointed a finger. And Patrick Mahomes, the golden boy, admitted a failure that could cost not only the season but the legacy of this group. If you think this is just a rough patch, think again. What is happening with the Chiefs is the clearest sign of an imminent collapse, and if they don't fix this before Sunday against the Colts, the season is over. Welcome to the end of the line. Let's analyze. To understand the gravity of the situation, we need to look at the cold facts that the traditional media threw in your face but failed to connect. On Sunday, November 16th, the Kansas City Chiefs lost to the Denver Broncos 22-19. A close loss, right? Wrong. It was a symptomatic defeat. Kansas City is now 3 games behind Denver in the loss column and, believe it or not, is currently out of the AFC playoff picture. But the earthquake came afterward. On Monday, head coach Andy Reid, usually a shield for his players, went public and launched a veiled yet sharp critique of his quarterback's decision-making. He stated that the plays were designed as runs, but turned into passes based on decisions made on the field. Patrick Mahomes, now 30 years old, responded on Wednesday. He didn't run from it. He said the phrase no Chiefs fan wanted to hear. I'm simply not making the passes. Now the immediate consequence? A tense locker room, a mother, Randy Mahomes, reacting to the controversy on social media, a Travis Kelce mute with the press, and a team on the brink of the abyss. Now let's look at what no one is telling you. Most channels will say Mahomes played poorly, but that is superficial. What if this is just the tip of the iceberg of a structural trust issue? What the original reporting didn't explain in depth is the mechanics of the RPO, run-pass option. Andy Reid revealed something crucial. The game plan was to run the ball. The Chiefs ran only 14 times. Mahomes passed the ball 45 times. This disparity wasn't the Broncos' defense's fault. It was a conscious choice by Mahomes. The hidden angle here is tactical ego versus physical reality. Mahomes is opting to pass not because it's the best read, but because he is desperately trying to prove he can still be the magician of big plays. He is ignoring Reid's system to try and save the team alone. And when the leader ignores the system collapses. Who loses in this? Not just Mahomes. It's the team-first culture that Reid built. When the coach says, the plays are runs, and the QB decides to throw 45 times, this reveals tactical insubordination born of desperation. Imagine the scene. It's Monday morning. The meeting room is silent. Andy Reid, a 67-year-old man who has seen everything in the NFL, looks at the projector screen. He sees offensive linemen clearing the way for an easy run, but on the screen, the ball flies and falls incomplete. On the other side sits Patrick Mahomes, the hero of a generation, the man who taught us that the impossible was routine, but something was wrong, and no one saw it coming with such force. He attempts the deep pass to Xavier Worthy. Travis Kelce is open, calling for the ball in the middle. It's the safe play. It's the smart play. But Mahomes wants the spectacle. He wants the 50-yard touchdown. He throws. The ball travels and misses the target. I just needed to make the throw, he said later, looking lost. There was no other way. But there was. There always was. The villain here isn't the Broncos' defense. The villain is time. The villain is the pressure to keep a dynasty alive when the pieces no longer fit like they used to. And the mood in the locker room? Travis Kelce, the emotional heart of this team, left the stadium without saying a word to reporters. Kelce's silence is louder than any scream. It is the sound of a team that knows it is letting greatness slip through its fingers. Let's put a magnifying glass on this with the hidden proof. According to Pro Football Focus, PFF, the numbers are terrifying. Mahomes has completed only 17 passes in 48 attempts of 20 yards or more this season. Let that sink in. Less than 36% accuracy on deep throws. This isn't just bad luck. It is a statistical trend of decline. Mahomes said, "You hit one deep pass, and suddenly the offense opens up." He is right in theory but wrong in current practice. They are forcing something that no longer exists in 2025 as it did in 2019. And there is more historical context. The Chiefs haven't missed the playoffs since Mahomes took over as the starter in 2018. We are facing a historic event. An entire generation of Kansas City fans doesn't know what it's like to watch the playoffs from home in January. Reid tried to smooth things over. We aren't as negative as the outside world here, but the urgency in his voice betrayed the speech. We need to make sure we take care of this now, he said. Now isn't next month. It's this week. They are trying to fix a Formula One engine while the car is going 200 mph toward a wall. Here we arrive at the heart of the problem. Every great empire falls from the inside out. The central conflict isn't Chiefs versus the NFL. It is Andy Reid's discipline versus Patrick Mahomes' instinct. Reid clearly said, "Yesterday they gave us opportunities to throw the ball, so we took those opportunities." That sounds like a justification, but between the lines, it is a criticism. He is saying, the plan failed because the execution failed. Mahomes fired back, accepting the blame but exposing the wound. There are times when I'm inspired, but there are also times when I miss throws, or there are breakdowns in protection. Note the change in tone. Before, Mahomes and Reid were one mind. Now there seems to be a disconnect. Reid designs runs. Mahomes sees passes. Reid asks for consistency. Mahomes seeks the miracle play. And in the middle of all this, the family enters the scene. Randy Mahomes reacting to the tension on social media adds a layer of personal drama that distracts from the focus. When external politics enter the locker room, the focus on the field disappears. This conflict is bleeding the Chiefs' season dry. If you are a Chiefs fan, this moment messes with your pride. You got used to being the league's boogeyman. Seeing the team implode due to internal errors, due to a lack of communication between coach and QB, hurts more than any loss to a rival. And the clock is ticking. It's not about next season. It's about the next 60 minutes of football on Sunday. The next game could define the destiny of everyone in that building, from the equipment manager to the general manager. If nothing changes by Sunday, the consequences will be catastrophic. Kansas City hosts the Indianapolis Colts. They are 8-2. They are leaders of the AFC South. They aren't coming to play games. If the Chiefs lose this game with the disadvantage they already have against Denver, the math becomes cruel. What if the Chiefs miss the playoffs? First, questions will begin about Mahomes' age, 30, and whether his physical peak has passed. Second, the tenure of Andy Reid, 67, will be questioned. Does he have the energy for a rebuild? Third, the stellar roster, including Kelsey, might start to dismantle or seek retirement. We are talking about the end of an era. It is not an exaggeration. The NFL is a "what have you done for me lately" league, and lately, the Chiefs' offense is a shadow of what it once was. Reid said, "It's not like this season is already lost," but he knows. Everyone knows. The margin for error is gone. But here is the twist that keeps the league awake at night. Mahomes admitted, "I think it all starts with me." This is the first time in a long while that we see the magician human, vulnerable and perhaps humble. Could this public humiliation, this criticism from the coach, and this painful defeat be exactly the reality check they needed? We have seen this movie before. The cornered champion is the most dangerous animal in nature. But the question that hangs in the air and will divide the fans is this. Do you think Andy Reid has lost control over Mahomes' decisions on the field? Or is Mahomes just trying to carry a team that no longer has enough talent to help him? Is the fault the QB's stubbornness or the lack of help around him? The dynasty might be dying in Denver, or resurrection might begin on Sunday. We will find out soon.